So I'm just recording this session so that we can put it up. We can record and share it with all of you, and even those who wanted to attend but then could not in the future. So it serves as reference as well. Okay, it's just time, and let's start. People who are still joining can keep joining, but in the interest of time, and since we have very limited time, I will start. I'll quickly introduce myself and who I am, who we are as an organization as well, and then get to the core, you know, uh, the topic, the content that I have to talk about. Thanks everyone for joining again, and I'm Varun Poladia. I'm from navan.ai. I lead marketing here. And as an organization, navan.ai is primarily an AI and generative AI solutions company. We're headquartered in Singapore. The parent organization was founded in 2014, and then we got into AI sometime around COVID, so around 2020-ish. And that's how long we've been in the AI space, and then generative AI came in about 1.5, 2 years back. So that's when we also got into generative AI more so, and our focus now is more on generative AI. So that's what we mostly do. We create, to be very specific, we create custom AI agents, AI assistants as well for multiple applications. And today we are going to talk about one such application of AI assistants or AI chat assistants. So chat is one of the ways in which you use an assistant, which we're going to talk about. But AI assistance is on a broader level, is what we're going to talk about for automating HR ops, HR operations. So HR and recruitment operations, both of them. And my objective is to share information so that you guys can benefit out of this, and it makes that easier for you all to implement AI as much as you want, and see the benefits in terms of increasing or increased employee productivity, operations management as well, the better operations management as well. So let's get started, and I'll quickly just jump over to the presentation. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. I'll appreciate some response.
Yes,
Yes,
Varun.
Varun.
Yeah,
Okay,
Varun.
thank you. Thanks, guys. All right, so let's get started with what are AI chat assistants. I mean, you guys might have heard of it several places, but then we have been having chatbots and chat assistants for a very long time. And what is it that AI assistants or AI chat assistants are? So let's get into very very broad level details, but then which are very specific to AI chat assistants, right? So, how do they work? One is that these are RAG based, so they retrieve the retrieval augmented generation. Basically, that's one of the ways in which, or that's a primary way in which these assistants work. And what happens is that they are custom trained on certain kind of data. So let's say you provide five different documents about, say, your onboarding process, and then the AI assistant learns from that, and then based on that, it will provide information or to carry out certain tasks based on what it has been asked to do. So that's how these kind of chatbots or assistants would work, right? So they're trained on specific data. They only work for that specific data that they have learned from, and as a result of that, the good thing is that they do not hallucinate. What happens a lot of times, if you guys have used ChatGPT, you would have noticed that ChatGPT sometimes also comes up with data that does not exist, or answers that are not true. So that can be avoided when we use these kind of AI assistants, where they are specifically trained on certain amount of data, certain types of data, certain kinds of data, and it learns only from that, and it's able to answer based on what it has learned from. So it does not create answers, or it does not create information on its own, but it understands from certain information, and then based on what you ask it to do, it gives you a response, or it carries out those actions, and it's limited to that information. So there's no hallucination in it, which is, I think, one of the biggest advantages of having RAG-based assistance. Moving on from there, we so I started off with like a broad level comparison between what chatbots were and then what not AI chat assistants can do. What's because we've been hearing this a very I mean, for a very long time, and we've been hearing this all around. But then we still don't really understand what's the basic difference, right? Because people, when we talk to people, then try they kind of get confused between both of these. So I'll quickly just brief you on what the differences are and why AI chat assistants or AI assistants these days are better than traditional chatbots as well. So one of the good thing is that AI chat assistants, they understand the context and the intent. So whatever you're talking about, even if it's natural language, right? You talk to another human, it's natural language. The same way you talk to this AI assistant in your natural language, just like you would talk to another human, and it will be able to understand that. But on the contrary, if you're engaging with a traditional chatbot, what would happen is that you would have like a list of set list of questions and answers. So you have to select one of those questions, and then only based on that question, whatever it has been learned or whatever it has been trained on in terms of the defined predefined answer, it will be able to answer that. Just hang on. We have okay. All right, so it will be able to answer that. So the good thing about AI assistants or the AI-based chat assistants is that they understand what you're talking about just naturally, versus traditional chatbots, which are, I mean, I personally think these are very frustrating because you only have like very few options from which you can select, and then usually more often than not, they do not really answer your query because somewhere or the other you are left hanging with a question again. So that's one of the biggest advantages which I see. Then moving on, these can be learned, these can be trained, not learned, but then trained on a continuous basis and improved automatically as well using machine learning. But traditional chatbots require manual intervention every time you want to train it, you want to make it work for additional data or additional questions and answers as well. So it's not really flexible and scalable enough. Then moving on in terms of integrations, right? Whenever we're talking about enterprises and B2B use cases, there are a lot of integrations which we usually look for. So let's say, for example, in terms of or in the space of HR and HR operations and recruitment itself, let's say you would want to connect your AI assistant with your HRMS software, or you would want to connect it to your calendar, maybe, right? It could be multiple things that you would want to connect it to. But then all of that you can do with AI chat assistants or AI assistants. But then with traditional chatbots, it's going to be very, very difficult to achieve that because the primary reason is that it does not understand natural language. So every time you given some you select some of the options and then it does only that which it has been trained on or pre-coded basically. So it's very difficult to have integrations with traditional chatbots. And then moving on, the one of the most versatile things about AI chat assistants is that they can handle a lot many more queries and topics as well, which traditional chatbots obviously cannot do because there's only limited number of things that they have been coded to cater to or handle. But then AI assistants have like a vast variety. So it's just like talking to another human, and then they would get your work done just like you would have, and probably like an assistant in the office to get done. So AI assistants or AI chat assistants for that purpose would help you get your work done much easier as compared to traditional chatbots. Now, the question main that we would want to, or I assume all of us want to understand, is how can we use AI, right? Because everybody's coming out with AI, but then the essential question is how do we leverage AI to make things easier for us at work, right? So, in terms of, or in the purview of HR ops and recruitment, there are a few areas where we have identified that AI assistants can be very helpful. So let's take one at a time, one example at a time, right? So let's talk about onboarding. So typically in the onboarding process, you would have multiple things that you would have to get done. Like probably you'll have a checklist of 10 different items involving maybe 5 different departments across the organization, which the new employee would have to get done, and then manually tracking each of them, and the person having to talking, having to talk to each of those different people across those teams, it becomes very, very cumbersome. So an AI assistant can automate all of those things, and it can make the onboarding process very friendly, very warm, very easy, and very convenient for the employer as well, and the new employee as well. So onboarding is one of the areas where I see that there's a lot of application and a lot of time saving that's possible, a lot of automation that's possible using AI assistants. Now, coming to payroll, right? So let's say there's maybe a delay in processing the salary because of public holiday. Maybe the banks are closed, for example. There would be probably 100 different people, messaging you and asking you what's the update. So instead of having to respond to them, each of them one at a time, you could have like an AI assistant which could just automatically tell them that, okay, this is the status of your salary, and then by this date or by this time it will be credited. This is a very simple example, but then there could be 100 different questions around it, 100 different queries that it can automatically handle, which ideally if you would have to handle manually or even through a traditional chatbot, it would be very, very difficult to do at scale. So wherever you have so many employees and so many people working with you, it's always very difficult to keep everyone happy based on what they are looking for, because it's a very custom. I mean, everyone has their own needs and questions, right? So it's a very custom thing that you would have to cater to in terms of helping them out. So that's where you can have an AI assistant which you could leverage to manage all those queries as well. Now coming to the benefits management part, so perks and benefits, right? You may be providing healthcare benefits, retirement plans, or say the benefits like say a gym membership or something, or say benefits like quarterly spa visit and all. So these could be different for different levels of salaries and hierarchies in the hierarchy stages in the organization. So it's not, I mean, if you had to go to each one of them and tell them, or even if you give them like a 100-page long document saying that, okay, this is what you get and this is what you do not get, probably it's very cumbersome. It's not really practically possible for everyone to remember that. Instead of that, if you could just train an AI assistant to learn from that, then as an employee, I could just ask that, okay, hey, my birthday is coming up. What kind of benefits do I get, or what perks do I have? Or maybe can I take my family out for dinner with a coupon provided by the organization, for example? Right. So those things can be automatically managed using an AI assistant. So that's just another example. Or maybe say I have parents and I want to include my parents in the healthcare benefit that I get from the organization. So then I can say that, okay, these are the details of my parents, and if I want to add them to my healthcare benefit, then what's the additional amount I'd have to pay? So it can automatically, calculate that based on the integrations that are available, and even get that process done automatically, which if done manually would have taken probably half a day or a day worth of work for any person. Moving on for the next set of applications. So coming to the ongoing processes, right? So performance reviews happen, quarterly, or say bi-yearly, or say yearly, and so on, right? So every time I mean, the HR is supposed to take a note of that, and then they would get the summary from the managers, and the entire process is recorded. And it's a very time-taking, it's a very elaborate process, very elaborate task that goes on across the entire organization in multiple ways and multiple formats across throughout, right? So if you want to automate that entire process, documentation, for example, or even say the reporting for that, that could all be done automatically using AI assistants. You just have to connect with the relevant data sources, and then it can perform the actions automatically. So let's say automatically scheduling the feedback, or scheduling those meetings, and further on even summarizing the performance reviews and everything. And based on that as well, you can coming to the next part, which is you can also get analysis of, so based on the performance reviews, you can also get analysis of which are the areas where a certain employee can improve in their career. So that can also be automated using AI assistance. So career development is or learning and training and learning development is another area where AI assistance can be very helpful. So you can, so what's not possible right now, or what's very difficult to achieve right now, is a personalized career development trajectory for every employee. But if you indulge AI assistance in this, then it's also possible to provide personalized advice, and then even recommend. Let's say you have a Coursera subscription for the organization, so that you can automatically recommend. The AI assistant can automatically recommend which are the relevant courses for the right person for every person in the organization, based on their say their role, their performance reviews, all of that. So all of these things can be automated, and it can be a very personalized and a very happy process, very warm and helpful process for any employee in that sense. So it overall, if you look at it, it improves the motivation, decreases the motivation for every employee by a significant amount. All right, and a few other use cases that we've also identified is, let's say, leave management, right? So you may have different policies for different kinds of leaves. So that can also be automated based on what are the rules, and the assistant can automatically approve leaves, can also probably create the calendar appointments or calendar events for those leaves, even inform the relevant people about leaves and so on. Or if I have a question, I could just ask and it could give me an answer right away. Employee well-being, again, taking one of the examples that I talked about earlier, right? So let's say, likewise, if you have like the way you have periodic performance reviews, you can also have well-being being done periodically, and this is automated. So it could be like an AI assistant is doing it, and it's not like the person is talking to another human. So they can be very confidential. I mean that conversation can be as confidential as you want, and then summary can is something that can be provided to the HR as well. So so the AI assistant could, periodically check on every employee within a certain team, and see if they need any help, or say, if there are any areas where they could there's something that they may not be able to talk to anyone, but then they would need help. So those areas could also be identified. And then there's knowledge management, which is obviously one of the things, I mean, which I talked about related to that. So in terms of learning and development, so you have like a list of probably 100 different documents, and then every time you have to answer a question, you'd probably have to go through that entire document and entire set of documents, and then try to find that answer. In certain time at certain times, you may not be able to find the right answer as well. So knowledge management becomes much easier when you have AI assistants, because you can directly give that access to any employee. And then if I have a question, if I am an employee and I have a question, I could just ask, saying that, okay, how do I probably, if I'm moving from one city to the other city, and what's the process that I need to follow? Who do I need to inform? What kind of benefits do I get, and so on? I can ask all those questions, and automatically I'll get the answers right away from the AI assistant itself. So it makes it much easier for the HR team as well, and as well as the employees. Now, moving on. So I mostly talked about the applications on a broad level, but then coming to the applications. Now we have understood the applications, but then if you want to apply those applications, how do we do that, right? And especially for enterprises, the most important question these days is data privacy, because let's say you use ChatGPT, then all your data is going to OpenAI, most likely. So how do you avoid that, right? So for that, there's something we have done at navan.ai, which is we offer private deployment of AI assistants. We also offer access control. So let's say you have different levels of employees in your organization, and you want to provide certain levels of access to different kinds of applications, different kinds of AI assistants, then you can do that as well. And then most importantly, it's the AI assistants that we create or you create on our platform are trained specifically on certain sets of data, so that they do not hallucinate, they do not provide wrong information, and so on. Moving on, I'll just take another an example of something I created myself on our platform, right? So we have a platform where we help people to create their own AI assistants and train based on certain data. But then, if you want like private deployment, certain integrations, customizations, and so on, you can come back to us, and we'd be happy to help. So here's just an example that I've taken. So let's say there's a leave policy document, and I've trained the AI assistant with that document, and then I use that assistant. So on the right hand side, what you see is that I'm engaging with that assistant. So I'm asking, can I get a leave for 2 days to attend a health emergency at home, right? And then instantly the assistant answers, saying that okay, there's no formal documentation required for illnesses. There's unlimited leaves. There are unlimited leaves available for these kind of occasions or these kind of events. And how do you inform the relevant people? So you just have to inform your manager and the team, and that's all that you have to do, right? So all my process is sorted within 1 minute, less than a minute actually, and it's a health emergency, so I don't really have a lot of time. What I can also do is I can ask the assistant to actually inform my manager or inform my team on behalf of me, and it'll create the email for them. It'll schedule my leave, or it'll add my leave in their calendar as well and inform them. So if those integrations are done, assuming so. So these kind of things are possible to automate using AI assistants. Moving on. So this is a link. This is the link or the platform where you can build an assistant yourself. I'll just give you a very short demo. So let's say I create, it's app.navan.ai. And let's say I want to create a new assistant. I name it um, leave policy. I can upload a file. Let's say it's a PDF file that I have. I'll just upload the file in a minute. And based on that, it will learn from that document. And okay, I've uploaded the file, and I'll say create assistant. Okay, sorry. I've actually tried out quite a few things, so I cannot create another one, but then I'll show you one that I created just recently. So this is the one that I created, and I added the demo as well. I added the screenshot as well. So this is the question I had asked about health emergency at home, and how do I get a leave for that? That was the answer. But then I also tried out something that the assistant was not trained on, right? Or it was not allowed to perform. So I said, can you inform my manager on my behalf? And the assistant said that no, it cannot do that. It does not have that information, because the document obviously did not have that information, and it does not even have integrations with let's say my HRMS to know who my manager is, right? But if that is done, if that integration is done, then it can automatically inform my manager, probably on Slack, or even create an email and so on, right? So that's how the assistant would work, and this is just an example of the chat assistant. So chat is one medium of how you can use it, but there could be various ways in which you can use it. Like let's say for like emails. You're doing recruitment, and then you have you're inviting people to send you an email with their resume for a certain role that you have. So automatically you'll probably get like 500 emails, and then from those 500 emails you can have an AI assistant which could parse all those emails and then add that data to your recruitment management system, and automatically do all of that, and also probably rank all the applications based on their relevance to the job description that you have. So those are a few ways in which you can use AI assistants, not just in the form of a chat, but then also in other formats. So that's that. It was a very short demo that I wanted to show. And coming to more details, if you're looking to automate things at your organization, have increase your productivity, have automation in place which could save a lot of time for you and improve employee motivation as well, then we'll be happy to help. Obviously, you can go to our platform and create your own AI assistant. But then if you need integrations and customization, we'd also be happy to help. We can meet you for a coffee if you're based in Singapore as well. That's just what I had to talk about on a very broad level today. And we're now open to questions, and we'll then get to know everyone here in terms of who all are here, and then network a little. Yeah, open to questions. Anyone, if you guys have questions, please just unmute yourself and ask away. Yes, Sheena, you can unmute
Uh,
yourself.
Hi, this is Sheena. Okay, I just want to check with you because just now you mentioned that we can actually just go to the website itself and do our own to tap on the AI assistant, but only if we need to customize and integrate into our system, then we can reach out to you guys, right?
Yes, that's correct. I'll
Ah,
just share that link in the chat here itself so that it's easier for you guys to go ahead.
okay, okay. Where the link is the one at Fireflies, is it?
No, the last message that you see in the chat, it's app.navan.ai. I'll just go back to that slide as well.
Okay.
You can, in fact, scan this QR code as well. It directly goes to that link.
Okay, so we can actually tap on the AI assistant and upload whatever that we need, isn't it?
Yeah, so you can go to create. You can create your own AI assistant, like I showed. It's very simple. Hardly takes 2 or 3 minutes. You can
Mm.
upload your document, and it will learn from that document, and then it's ready to go. You can deploy it on your website. So this one creates a chat assistant, which you can deploy on your website. But then if you want other formats, you can reach out to us, and we'd be happy to help.
Okay, understand. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, so let's do this. We have a few minutes left, and I did want to do some networking as well. So let's get to understand. I mean, I assume a lot of you are from Singapore, but then I would want to know, will you be sending the slides to us? Sheena, we'll be uploading this recording, and yeah, we can share the slides as well. So you'll get an email then.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I was saying that I assume most
Hi
of you are from.
Varun.
Hello, yes.
Hi Varun. This is Ankita. I joined from India,
Hello,
and
Ankita.
I'm just trying to log into your website, and somehow it's pretty slow for me. I'm not sure if it is for everybody, but just moving on to pages is like taking me 2 to 3 minutes. I'm just trying to understand: is it only for me, or like everybody else is also facing the same?
I don't think that should be for everyone, but I think Alok from my team is here. Alok, can you also check on that?
Okay,
Yeah, sure. Bro.
it's pretty slow. I had to log out and I'm just trying from I had to open another page. It took me like 2 to 3 minutes.
No, I
Oh,
can open it
that's
easily.
From
Like
yeah.
it's going smoothly for me.
Okay, got it. Maybe because I'm
probably.
opening other websites, it's working for me in other website faster as compared to yours. But that's fine.
Uh-huh.
I can recheck on that. Yeah.
I assume it could be first time. I mean, when you're opening it for the first time, but then next time
Okay.
when you come back to that website, it should be fast enough.
Okay, got it. Sure.
Just in case you need any help, I'll drop our contact email as well.
Yeah, that would be helpful. But thank you so much.
Yes, that's the email, and most of us in the leadership team get this email, so you can drop an email with any query, even feedback, criticism, whatever you have. Happy to hear that, and yeah, you can reach out to us anytime.
Sure, sure.
So yeah, can we have like a quick show of hands or like a thumbs up in the chat for whoever is from Singapore here? I just want to understand. Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh. Nice to know. All right, so if you guys are fine, we can extend this for maybe 2 minutes. And quickly, can each of you just unmute yourself and share one line? So maybe your name and then where you work, probably. So let's at least get acquainted in that sense with each other. Everyone who is here.
Hi, Varun. This is Ankita. I'm from India and I'm freelancing at the moment, working on my own project. And for past years, 6+ years of experience into recruitment. So I just thought, I can gain something from this webinar. Thank you for doing.
Thanks, Ankita. Right? Anyone else? I mean, networking was a part of the agenda, so I'm hoping. My assumption is that you guys would want to network. You can just unmute yourself and go ahead. Yeah, it's fine.
Hi, nice to meet you. And I'm LJ. And actually, I'm not from Singapore. I'm from Taiwan. And I very like today's seminar you give. And yeah, maybe in the future we have a chance to collaborate with each other. And thank you very much.
Thank you, LG. Okay, are others even here? All right, last 1 minute and then we'll close this. Right, I assume you guys are working and then you do not want to unmute yourself while you're working at the same time. So let's close it this time, and we'll email the presentation and the link to the presentation as well as the recording so that you can refer to it later on when you have time as well. And thanks again for being here. It was wonderful having a decently interactive audience, not a very interactive, but decently attractive audience. And we hope to see you again in the next few webinars as well. In case you are based in Singapore, then we're happy to meet for a coffee as well, and provide like a free consultation if you want to understand how you can leverage AI or generative AI for your organization as well. So yeah, that's it. Thanks, and enjoy your evening. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Varun.
Thanks, Varun.
Thanks, Varun.